Okay, that looks better. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Okay, we are live on Make Something Monday. Bailey's here, obviously. And it's Monday afternoon. This is not our typical time to go live, but we have a crafting session booked tonight for 6 o'clock with some embers, some Girl Guides. And we don't normally do that on a Monday, but this was a special request and we love to craft with the kids. So we are doing that tonight. So we're doing Make Something Monday on Monday afternoon. And I don't expect a whole lot of people will pop in, but if you do pop in, please say hello. And if you are watching this on a replay at some other time, please make sure you say hi, pop into the comments, say hello, say hello to Bailey, and let me know if you have any questions as we go. I will always come back and answer the questions as well. Now that I'm sufficiently Bailey licked, thanks, buddy. I am going to get started. I actually have two projects on my table. We'll see how much of it I get done with you. But I also want to chat. Don't you get done? I also want to chat about our new Crafter's Choice and what that means and all that fun stuff. So I have two projects. This one's not put together yet, but it will be. These cute little gnomes. This is going to turn into a gnome that could be hung. You could make a whole banner of them. They would be perfect for a tier tray. Mine is just over there. You could make them into fridge magnets. That would also be kind of cool. So lots of opportunity there. We're going to do that one. And I'm also have a bunch of these fun pumpkins off to the side here. Some of which I have already gotten a head start on painting. So we are going to work on those as well. I have a couple of ideas for both of those things. So I'm going to get my laptop out of the way so that it's out of the road, just far enough so I can still see comments. And there we go. We're going to get started. I'm probably going to bounce back and forth maybe between these two things because the pumpkins have to dry in between coats. And I have a hairdryer, but it's too far away right now. So I'm going to start with this guy. I'll tilt you down slightly so you can see what I'm doing. I did start with this one. And I'm not loving it. So in comparison, this teal one that I've already painted is a dollar store pumpkin. They are still available, believe it or not. These are the styrofoam ones from the Dollar Tree. I did not get over to Dollarama to see what they had left in stock, but for reference, this is what's available at Dollar Tree. They are styrofoam, so they are much, much lighter. You would not be able to put these on your front porch unless you had them, they were protected in some way, because I'm afraid they would blow away. This guy is one of the Michaels pumpkins. This is not real. All of these are artificial. I'm going to do this painting project on artificial pumpkins because a couple reasons. One, I don't want the pumpkins to rot, which will happen. And if I like the way they turn out, which I'm sure I'm going to, I want to be able to put them away for next year, and maybe I'll use them again. So I did this one teal, this one, you can still sort of see it over here. I'm going to do this one cream because I want to do some decoupage. Sorry, I'm trying not to get the paint running all off of me, or off of the pumpkin, I should say. Now, the teal one that I did on the styrofoam, I did notice that second and third coat, because it did require second and third coat did sort of peel up as I was going. I had to be very careful with my brush, just so that I wasn't taking paint off. I did let it dry completely. I was using the hairdryer to help me along. Let it dry completely before going on to the second coat, and it still sort of came up in some spots. So I'm interested to see if the same thing happens on this pumpkin from Michaels, because it's a different material. It's not styrofoam, not what I would call styrofoam anyway. It's definitely plastic of sorts. But I'm interested to see whether or not second coat will sort of peel off of here. So I'm trying to my best to paint as close to the stem. I have a gigantic brush here, but just because I don't want to have to repaint the stem. I like the way this one has been done, so I don't want to have to redo it if I don't have to. So I'm just gonna get around there if I possibly can. If you are jumping on and you are watching, in the comments, make sure you say hello. Let me know that you're here. Let me know what you're doing on how has your Monday been so far? What are you up to today? Are you crafting? It's quite nice out. I haven't been outside since first thing this morning, but it looks lovely. I'm just being lazy. I did not get out a palette. One more thing for me to have to wash today. So I'm literally just dripping the paint right onto my pumpkin because I can. Because in this case, I don't need a palette. So this certainly is painting up a lot nicer than the styrofoam one did. However, I did want to show you both because both are an option. If you want to jump on this sort of painted pumpkin train that is chugging along here in Craft Trends. But there's very different price points, right? Like, so these guys are going to run you $1.25 or $1.50 at the Dollar Tree. And this size, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say it was somewhere in the $10 range. Now, all of that stuff is on sale right now, so you could get it at a better price. But there certainly is a price difference here. And if you're doing this with the kids and you just want to have, an option for them to paint something, then maybe it's the Dollar Tree ones. It's neither, I think, are a bad choice. I got pop-ups all over the place. Hello, Sherry. How are you? I have not seen you in quite some time. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Robin. It is a big, so it probably looks much bigger on camera. For size reference, this is my water bottle. This is my phone. So the Dollar Tree pumpkin is quite small in comparison. The Michaels pumpkins are much larger and they are much more realistic looking. You get all sorts of different shapes where the Dollar Tree ones are just all that one shape. Plus, they are neon orange. So they are quite bright and the color is not necessarily realistic. So it's completely up to you, but I'm painting them, so it didn't matter to me what color they were because I had no intention of leaving them that color. No, it's not real. You could totally do this with real pumpkins. You absolutely could. And to be honest with you, like, I consulted a bunch of crafting friends to decide, sort of, would we go real or would we go fake or faux? And I landed on faux because I didn't want to put all this effort into crafting them and then have them rot. And I am the kind of person who sort of saves their decor and repurposes it the following year. So this one will likely get put away. It will for sure get put away, and then we'll see what next year brings. And we may paint it a different color. We may do something totally different with it. but there are tons and tons of options. And when you are doing real pumpkins, then they're going to rot and all your efforts are going to be gone. I am painting, for reference, I'm painting with my Country Chic paint. So it is mineral based. It does have base coat and top coat built in. I don't know that that's going to matter in this instance. I am going to attempt to do some decoupage on it, but I can't have your nose in the paint. Bailey's here and putting her nose in my arm, which she often does when I'm crafting. She's an attention-seeking dog, aren't you? Oh, that's really good to know, Robin. So like a smaller, almost a gourd size, and it kept for a really long time. I do think that size matters for sure in terms of their longevity. That is for certain. So I'm just going to get this one coat on here, and then I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to move on to this other craft that I've got sitting here so I can show you it as well. And we'll let this dry and I'll come back to it and attempt to get a second coat on without it peeling off. I'm also going to do the bottom as best I can without getting all the paint off of the pumpkin. That's what was happening to my my styrofoam one, the teal one I painted. As I was rolling it around, it was still wet and the paint was certainly coming off. So it does. That is exactly what happens with these fur babies. They, this breed in particular is very needy and needs to feel as though she's a part of what's happening. So I am going to switch gears. I'm going to move to this little guy, which I'm going to paint. Oh, I need to, you guys have got a glare there. That's better. I hear you. I don't always have the patience either. I'm going to, so this is 3 pieces. These are from the dollar store as well. And the reason I'm showing you these 2 crafts in particular is because these are our 2 options for Crafter's Choice, or sorry, I should say 2 of our options for Crafter's Choice for the month of October. And they're super adorable and I love them. I absolutely love this one. So I'm going to do some painting. I'm going to paint, I love this cream color as opposed to stark white, but I'm actually probably going to get some gray or maybe some brown and just do some dry brushing on this as well. So the ghost becomes the beard of the little gnome. I'm not worried about the top part here because it is all going to be covered. So I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to paint my pumpkin face, although you're not going to see, whoa, that was way too much paint. You're not going to see most of this either because I'm going to decoupage it. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. I'm going to get some of this back in my jar. I do not need all that paint. Thanks. I know this is totally not my idea. I borrowed it from the internets. These little pumpkin witch hat gnome creations are definitely floating out there on the interwebs. And I thought this was a fun one, especially given that it's going to be available at Crafter's Choice. So if you've got kids and you're bringing them with you as well, maybe they don't want to make a gnome, but maybe they do want to paint some of these ghosts and hats and things, and they can make their own little garland. So I thought that was kind of fun for them to be able to do. They are super cute. and I can't wait to get it all together for you. It's a quick one too. So that is the nice part. The whole point about Crafter's Choice, and I do want to talk a little bit about that. So Crafter's Choice, formerly known as Drop-In DIY Crafting. So as with all businesses and all things in the world, change happens and things evolve over time. Drop-in DIY is not working for us. Not having people pre-register is making it difficult. It's making it costly. So we are going to move away from the name Drop-In DIY and go with Crafter's Choice. And every month there will be 2, at least, new projects that are available just during Crafter's Choice. And you'll be able to come and register for a Crafter's Choice time slot. You will still have the option to do things like the rounds and ornaments and ceramics and what else is over there right now? Mandala dot painting, candle making. Any of those things can also be done at Crafter's Choice, but we will also have these 2 projects that will only be available during the month that they're highlighted. And regardless of what your choice is, you will need to register in advance moving forward. We will not be able to do drop-ins like we've been doing them in the past. So change can be hard, but I have confidence that we'll be able to make this work. I'm just going to grab some black paint because I forgot it. Actually, maybe we'll do some purple. Yeah. So I think I changed my mind. I think I'm going to do the hat purple. So I have a little bit more color, So I'm just going to paint the hat real quick, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to decoupage it, and then we'll put it together. This should be fun. I love purple for Halloween, and the decoupage that I'm going to do with this one is got a little bit of orange and a little bit of teal in it, so I think it'll go well together. Also love that this these are actually meant to be like little hangers or ornaments, and so they all have a hole in them, which is perfect because you can make this into, you can add it as like a little banner if you wanted to, or you could add it as a little hanger on something if you were doing gifts, or if you just wanted to hang it in your house. Kids wanted to hang it on their door. I think that would be cute. This will probably only need 1 coat. Try not and get it all over me. There we go. With 1 squirt of paint, it's perfect. Awesome. So we'll let that dry. Put this over here. Do you have a water cup on the go here this afternoon? So I'm excited to go and craft with these young ladies this afternoon as well. It should be fun. We're going to do faux stained glass. It should be fun. I'm going to dry brush a little bit of texture on my beard. See if I've got I always use my rattiest of brushes. Hey, Sheila. So I'm just going to actually put it right onto the paper towel because I need very, very little paint. I just want a little bit of texture on this beard. So I'm going to dry brush, and you may not even be able to see this on camera. I'll try and get it up close for you. But I do want, just so that it looks more like a beard and less like just a cream colored ghost, although you won't be able to tell it's a ghost, that's for sure. But he looks more, gnomes to me have like gray in their beards. So you see what I'm saying? Just a little bit, just a little bit. That's better. Perfect. Love that. I better turn on. I'm going to try the glue gun and see. Because this is, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Lastly, before we put it all together, is I'm going to take this pumpkin. So I did paint this one. That's what the natural wood side looks like. I did paint it cream. I don't know that it's necessary to paint it cream, but I opted to, just because I think that the Mod Podge sticks a little bit better because I am going to decoupage, and I don't necessarily want to see the wood or any imperfections from the wood through my decoupaged napkin. So I'm using these, and I have a feeling I got these last year. I have a very large supply of napkins because every time I see some that are really cute, I pick them up. So it can be to a fault. So anyway, I'm going to use this napkin to decoupage. And if you've never done this before, it is the easiest way to decoupage. The only thing you have to remember is you have to peel apart the layers of the napkin. So if it is 2-ply or 3-ply, you'll need to get down to just the first ply of napkin. And then you can use Mod Podge, you can use white glue. I've even seen it done with like a shellac. So there's lots and lots of options for you to be able to do this. I'm going to use Mod Podge because I have it out on the table. So that's what I'm going to use today. And I will show you. I'm going to do a thin layer of Mod Podge right over top of my paint. And there's a number of different ways to do this as well. There's many people who like to dry their Mod Podge and then reactivate the Mod Podge with heat. So put their napkin down and then use their mini press, like a little mini heat press or a little iron to reactivate that Mod Podge. I don't mind the wrinkles, so it doesn't bother me at all. So I let it go, do it as it's wet. I'm just going to choose sort of which parts of this napkin I want a fair amount of that orange if I can. So I'm going to place it there, and then I just start on one side and I smooth it out. And that works for me. If I do get a few wrinkles in there, I don't get too worked up about it. It doesn't bother me. I don't love bubbles, so I do make sure to go around and get all of the bubbles out. That actually turned out quite well. And then the Mod Podge just holds onto it. It's super easy that way. So I am going to have some scissors. I could just tear it, but I have some scissors here. And I'm just going to cut as close to my pumpkin as I can. I don't get too worried about it because I'm going to show you what happens next. Is makes it so that it gets rid of all of that excess really, really easily. So we'll just get this all off of there. And I will take this napkin and put it back in my little box because you never know. Somebody might be able to use it for something, or I might want to coordinate this whole project with something else. So I will, I'll put it there so that it stays put. Once my Mod Podge is dry, then I will do my next step. So I'm going to jump back to my pumpkin here seems like it's drying. And I'm going to try and get another coat of this cream on here just to see if I can't cover up more of this orange. Now, interesting, so far, this is paint. The second coat on this is painting better than the second coat on the styrofoam one. So that's good to know. I do think that if this is decor for you at your house or at your office, wherever, it would be worth it, excuse me, to invest in the more expensive pumpkins. One, they're a bit bigger and they look more high end, I guess I would say. And two, they seem to be accepting of the paint a whole lot better than the styrofoam ones from the dollar store. I will say you do have to be mindful of your brush strokes because they are very apparent. So you do definitely want to be mindful of that as you're going. And you might have to do a couple of coats just to eliminate anywhere where you've, gotten a little crazy with your paintbrush. But I'm going to get a second coat on here as much as I can all the way around. And then I will set it aside and go back to my pumpkin. So from a Crafter's Choice perspective, again, we will have 2 to 3 dates available each month. And you will be able to book a seat at the table and you will be able to select your craft. Now, as always, you're welcome to change your mind because that happens to the best of us, especially if you're crafting with kids. So if you book a time slot, for instance, and you say, oh, I think I'm going to do candles, and you get here and you've decided you don't want to do candles, you want to do painted pumpkins instead, that is totally fine. It's not a problem. We can sort that out for you. But you will need to book your seat ahead of time. Even if it's the morning of or you know what I mean? We need to know that you're coming. We're not doing drop-ins anymore. It's just not working. So if you are planning on coming that day, then you will need to hop online or give us a call and let us know so that we can save you a seat and actually be here. Because if you don't book a spot, there might not be any staff here. That's something that you might run into. Now, you will be able to still do drop-in crafting during the day, Monday to Friday. I'm here, I'm working, I'm typically prepping materials for other things. So certainly you can come and drop in sort of Tuesday to Friday during the day. That's still an option, provided we don't have a private party booked or something along those lines, but that should be just fine. And again, I would recommend that you let us know in advance that that's what you're doing. So, this is looking better, much, much better. It's totally, it's covering nicely. I think a third coat will make a big difference. There were a couple of spots where I don't think the paint was entirely dry and it was peeling the layers underneath up. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to let each layer dry completely before moving on to the next. So that's good. If you are watching this either now or on replay and you have any questions about Crafter's Choice, you can just let me know. But the whole idea is that there are several projects at several price points available. And it's an opportunity for you to come and get creative, bring your friends, bring your kids. It's open to all ages. And these kinds of projects that I'm working on today, the whole idea is that I source out and plan out some projects that are relatively inexpensive. So you have the opportunity to come and create as a family or with a group of friends. And it's not breaking the bank. It's budget friendly. But you still have the opportunity to create something. And all of the mess stays here, which I know appeals to many people. I get it. The mess doesn't bother me. We're happy to host the mess. So you're going to see projects posted every month. And then when you click on Crafter's Choice online on our website, you will see the projects that are available to you as well as the prices. So you can plan accordingly. And like I said, you will still have the option to do anything that's on the DIY wall, any of the rounds or the banners or the ceramics or the mandalas or candles. I'm looking at the wall right now. So those are all the options for you as well. So cute. All right, those are clean. And I'm going to finish up this little gnome project. Pull this guy back in. So when you have decoupage like that on a piece, if you cut off the bulk of the excess and wait for the Mod Podge to dry, then you can use your lighter. I'm sorry, I only have this gigantic lighter here that I can rarely make work. But if you light the edge on fire like that, it will burn off all of the excess and leave you with a clean edge. So, and you sometimes have to start again, but it's the easiest way to get rid of all of that extra napkin. And I do recommend you cutting it back. Don't leave a whole bunch of napkin. That's not what you want to do. And then it'll just put itself out and it'll leave you with a lovely edge, just like that. Easy peasy. You want to make sure that you cut off the excess though, because you don't want a bunch of extra, but the edge looks fabulous and finished. And that's how easy that is. So in this case, I did start the hot glue. Off you go, buddy. I did turn on the hot glue. So we might do some hot glue. So my beard is going to come down here and my hat is going to go on top here, and then I'll put a little nose on him so that he's super stinking cute. So I'm going to do hot glue. Often I get asked about using hot glue in these crafts. It is not my preferred adhesive, but I know that many of you have it and would like to use it. I prefer something like Gorilla Glue, only because hot glue does not give you a great bond, and it sometimes will also create a bit of space depending on how much glue you have put on there. So this seems to be fine today. I'm not putting on a ton of glue, so that is also something to keep in mind. You don't want a bunch of excess. So I'm just putting my hat over top of my face so that my ghost face disappears. Oh, it's cute. I'm glad I went purple. I like it. It's cute. And I'm going to choose a nose out of my box of round things, a size that works appropriately. I don't love that one. It's been painted. I think this one is perfect. The perfect size. It is stinking cute. So I always just turn mine on their side. Mine all have holes in them because we use them for like garland and all sorts of crafting options. But I'm just gonna put a little dab of glue on there, get it semi-centered, turn it on its side, and I'll just hold it until that dries. I do find that sometimes embellishments like this will pop off if we use hot glue, which is part of the reason why I really like to use, you know, sort of I'm not a huge E6000 fan. It is really smelly, but Gorilla Glue works really, really well. So does Super Glue. You just have to be mindful of where you're getting it on your hands. Don't get it on your hands. Don't be mindful. Just don't do it. But yeah, that is cute. Super cute. This little Nomi witch is so stinking cute. So decoupage on the pumpkin, and then this is the ghost, and this is the witch's hat with the nose on it, and it turned out super cute. I do love it. So you could hang this, right? It could become a little hanger. You could also, if you have Jenga blocks or little pieces of offcuts or spare pieces of wood, you could put a little block on the back side and then it would stand up independently. So I think I'm going to do that. I will probably do it off camera though, because I don't have anything on hand. But that way it will stand up. Put my mouse here so that it can stand up just like that, because it is the perfect size for a tier tray. If you have a tier tray and you're looking to add a few elements of Halloween, this is a great option for you. So super adorable. But you could also hang it, like I said, or you could create a little, a bunch of them and make a little banner. That would be cute for sure. But that was not difficult at all. And is a fun option to do here in store. We have all of the supplies for you, and you'll be able to create some of those if you would like. We only have one date available in October, and I want to say it's the 23rd. I have to look at the calendar, but I'm pretty sure it's the 23rd. And that is where you will be able to come and do open Crafter's Choice that day. All right, back to the pumpkins. This one is taking a little bit to dry, but it doesn't look too bad. We're getting close. I do think that perhaps, yeah, it's still a bit tacky. We'll leave that one alone for now. And I'm going to come back to this guy. And paint on top of him, or I'm going to attempt to paint on top of him anyway. I'm going right out in left field on this one. I'm going to go teal is my base, and I've got a little bit of pink, and I'm going to attempt to freehand some little ghosts, which may or may be successful. We'll see. But I love these little ghosts. I call them retro ghosts. I don't know if they're retro or not. But I'm going to try and paint a few of these on here so that they're looking more like tombstones than ghosts, sadly. So when you do painted pumpkins like this, it's about the experience, as with all of our crafts. It's about the experience, not the end result. So once I put eyes on them, it'll make more sense. But I will say that pink is two things. One, it's covering really well. And two, it doesn't seem to be taking up the paint underneath it, which is a great sign. So we'll see. We'll see if I can create some of these ghosts all the way around my pumpkin. I'm going to think about it less and just go for it. Just paint. Painted pumpkins is an option twice this month, one at Crafter's Choice, and one other time it will be our Ladies' Night event this month. We are bringing back Ladies' Night. We haven't had one since before summer. So we're going to do that, bring that back. So an opportunity for you to just come, again, low cost crafting, but an opportunity for you to get creative and for you to meet some people, connect with others. We know how important that is for everybody, but in particular for adult or young adult women. I just had this conversation with my girls actually about how difficult it can be to make friends. And so we're going to do our very best to every month hold a ladies' night event where there won't be alcohol. So oftentimes when you hear ladies' night, you think alcohol. There won't be alcohol, but there will be snacks and there will be an opportunity for you to be social and connect with others and get crafty and create something super cute and fun. So that is the whole point. And I thought this would be a fun project. Who doesn't love to paint a pumpkin? That night we will have both faux pumpkins and real pumpkins. It is happening before Halloween, so you'll be able to take them home and add them to your decor if you so choose, or tuck them away for next year. I do think that these painted pumpkins don't disappear after Halloween. We're not big celebrators of Halloween. Our kids just never really got into it, but we still like to put out pumpkins. And to me, they read fall, not just Halloween. So these actually are not looking too badly. I'm trying not to be very overly like pattern in terms of where I'm painting them, but they're not looking too bad. I think they'll look better once I get eyes on them. But I'm just enjoying the process and chatting with you. And really that's what it's all about. It's just about getting crafty, engaging that creative side of your brain, whether you think you're crafty or not. Your brain really does need to have the opportunity to be creative and let go of all of the other things that are going on in our lives and spend some time just crafting, creating, connecting with others. Crafting is a word that more people are comfortable with because there's an inference of I don't know whether ease is the right word, but certainly like if you use the word art, even the word creativity, that can oftentimes be intimidating to people. So using the word crafting makes it sound to many people that it's open to all regardless of skill. And definitely this is. Everything that we do here is open to all regardless of skill. And it is a safe space for everyone to come and be crafty or to just sit and chat. Nobody's going to force you to create. You certainly can just come and sit and chat. Happy to have you do that and walk through the doors and try and connect with some other people, or bring a friend with you and just sit and chat in this space. Certainly that happens a lot during the day. I have a fair number of people who just show up and make themselves a tea and we sit and chat. It's for me, it can be a highlight of my day too. So there's lots of opportunity for you to get creative or connect with others or both. So this is looking cute. I'm actually quite liking this now. Not that I wasn't liking it before, but I'm going to say I was a little uncertain in the beginning. I do want to put, I want a decoupage on the bigger one, so I might not be able to do that today. I am on a timeline today, but certainly I'm going to do that. Maybe we'll see. Let's just keep crafting. don't overthink it. Just keep going. Just keep going. I hope everyone's Monday has been great so far. Usually I talk to you at night when your Monday is over. So if you are watching me on replay, let me know in the comments. How was your day? How was your Monday? Mine started out a little wild. It was Addison's birthday yesterday, and I turned my phone off, and as I should, it's Sunday. I'm technically not here at the store, and it's my time to connect with my family. So Addison and I spent the whole day together doing things that she wanted to do, which was a lot of fun. She got up early, and which isn't her favorite thing to do. She's not an early riser ever, but she got up early and she came with me to church, and then we went out for brunch first off, which she has never done with me before, so that was fun. And then what did we do next? Oh, we hit the mall. So we had this conversation about how she wanted to see how many things she could get for free on her birthday, because lots of companies do free stuff on your birthday, kind of things like that. So she wanted to go and explore and see where all she could get free stuff on her birthday. So she didn't do too badly. She was a little bummed Sephora didn't have any of their birthday presents left. They were, I guess, out. So, but they did tell her she could come back and get it on another day. So she plans to do that. She got a free drink at Booster Juice, and she got a free drink at Starbucks. So she was pretty excited about that. I'm going to do one more just because I feel like it's still feeling a little matchy. So I'm just going to do one more here, and then I'm going to put some arms on them. No, I'm not putting arms on them. I'm going to put eyes on them, and then hopefully they look more like ghosts. And I'm using this soft pink color because I thought that the white and even the cream I thought might just be too harsh. And I'm not going to use black. I'm going to use dark roast, which is like my deepest gray color for their eyes. So there we go. My little ghosts so far. I'm just going to wash my brush. Still using like old style cups and rags to wash brushes, but when I'm away from the sink, it works. Let's see. Dark roast. I think I might do the stem dark roast as well. I don't love this neon green color. It's awful. And this dark roast actually kind of reads like it's got brown undertones. It's gray, but it's also reads brown to me. I'm not sure. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like dark roast coffee. There you go. So we're going to do the stem in that color as well, just to hide this neon green that is the dollar store pumpkins. They're so funny. Anyway, you know what? As a kid project, I don't think there's anything wrong with using some of these dollar store pumpkins. They are a much smaller size, which makes the project more doable for kids and some adults, really. And it's cost effective. They don't look horrible once you paint them. In this orange color, they're terrible. Yes, Sheila, it's coffee colored. But in the orange color, they're awful. I wouldn't use them at all. But to paint them, they look great. So just keep in mind that the paint needs to completely dry before you can do a second coat. Otherwise, the first coat is going to come up, and they're styrofoam, so they're crazy light. So this is not going outside in a windstorm at all. They will blow away. But you know what you could do with them, which would be kind of fun. Actually, I might do that out front. because my mums, I can't keep my mums alive. There is just way too much sun out there. You could take barbecue skewers and turn them into stacked pumpkins. That would be fun, a lot of fun, because they are made of styrofoam. So you could easily stack them with barbecue skewers. Just using the end of my paintbrush to make these eyes. That way I don't have to think about it too much. And they are relatively round. They're looking kind of cute now. See, they are looking like little ghosts. Even I sometimes have moments of where I'm like, was this a good idea? But I do. I'm liking my little ghosts now. And we'll have to see if my other pumpkin is dry enough to add some decoupage. I just want to put some napkin, like have some with leaves on it, and I want to put it on there. You could decoupage anything on, like you could take that plaid napkin and make a plaid pumpkin. How cute would that be? Be really neat. On my 2x4 pumpkins, which that class is coming up on Wednesday. If you're joining me, make a set of your own 2x4 pumpkins. But I put decoupage napkin on one side of them. On one side of the little pumpkin, I added it after we did them live not too long ago. I'm adding my little eyes, trying not to miss anybody. Last one. They are cute. Little ghosties all around my pumpkin. No rhyme, no reason, no particular pattern, but they do look cute. They do. And not a difficult project. You could paint whatever you wanted on there. You could paint like a traditional pumpkin face. You could paint, words, dots, polka dots. I've seen all sorts of things. There's tons and tons of painted pumpkin inspiration out there. Thanks, Sheila. It does. It looks kind of cute. So I am going to attempt, we'll see if this one's dry or if I can find a spot that looks okay to actually do some decoupage, because I will not be able to use the, put this guy over here. No, it's still very, very, still wet. All right, we might have a spot that I can put. I won't make you endure the length of time it's going to take to dry this. That's the only downside, is waiting for this paint to dry. But I can show you what I plan to do. And then it's that time of day where texts start rolling in from my kids. So I'm like looking for them. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to layer some of this fall napkin. I totally could blow dry it, Sheila, but it's the blow dryer, the cord is not long enough to reach where I'm working right now. So I'd have to go off camera, and that's a waste of time. I'm going to try and get this apart. So remember that if we're decoupaging, that we want to get our napkin pulled apart. And sometimes that can be easier said than done. Sometimes it can be rather frustrating. Also keep in mind that you don't have to just decoupage with napkin. You can use tissue paper, crepe paper. If you've got really thin, like vellum or like other papers, handmade papers, you can use those as well. We've also done it with fabric, which is also an option. for you to decoupage with. Like really, you can do it with anything. There is an entire line. The name of the company is escaping me. Roycycled Papers. That's the name of the company. And I believe they're still in business. And they are Canadian to my knowledge. And they make patterned papers specifically for decoupage. And you can follow them on social media. They have all sorts of tips on how to do it in all sorts of applications. They oftentimes are adding decoupage to furniture, which is also super fun. We had a customer, Annette, who might watch this later. She did some decoupage with Roycycled Papers at a retreat. I don't know if that was last year or if it might have been the year before. And it turned out beautifully. Like there's all sorts of options. And then you just put a coat of wax or sealer on top. This one was very difficult to get apart, but it's done now. You can see how frustrating that can be to try and get the layers of the napkin apart. But it is essential. Don't skip on this part, because when you add your Mod Podge, if you don't have the layers apart, if you don't have the layers of the napkin pulled apart, it will separate on you and you'll be so super disappointed. All right, I'm going to try and at least get this started for you, because I kind of have a plan, but in this case, I'm just going to rip some of this napkin, and I'm actually going to rip it so that it's not like that was a fairly straight line. I don't want that. I don't want symmetry. I want it to be, I want it to look even that's a bit much for me. It's a little bit better. And the bottom, I'm going to rip too, only because I want it to roll around the bottom of the pumpkin, and I don't want that straight line. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to put this guy on his side. It does still have, one side is still a little bit wet, so we're going to go for this and see what happens. I may have to stand because this pumpkin is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to start just down here. And this is probably a project where I am going to get some wrinkles. And that's okay. It is intended to look rustic. And because of the ribs on the pumpkin, I will probably get more wrinkles. So I'm going to take this. And in this case, I'm going to go in with a second coat over top. I didn't do that on my little gnome, but I am doing that on this pumpkin. And the reason is because I want to make sure that it stays put. So make sure that I've got a layer underneath. And then lay that on top. And then just go back in with my Mod Podge. And I'm actually going to cover this entire pumpkin in this napkin, several napkins, because it's much bigger than one napkin. I don't think there's any Mod Podge under there. Oh, there might have been. So actually, now that I think about it, I might not have to worry about the paint and getting another coat on if the bulk of this is gonna be covered. And you can probably see I've ripped that, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm not concerned. I don't want it to look perfect. I want it to be imperfect, as imperfect as I can possibly get, actually. So I'm just going to leave that, and I'm going to take another section of this napkin, and I'm going to add some more over here on this side. And I'm not concerned that it doesn't look, again, I'm not concerned that it's not perfect. That's the look that I'm going for. Now, you could take sections of a napkin and like cut out the leaves or cut out the acorns, and you could just add those in one piece at a time or just little bits. That totally could be done too on your piece. But I'm sort of going for this scrapbooky quilted kind of look on my pumpkin. I'm not sure at this point if I'm going to do the whole thing. I might stop at some point. But for now, what I'm doing is just layering bits of this napkin. And I'm going to have to go and get another napkin because I'm going to run out. But I'm just going to take parts of it and lay it on so you can sort of see here. And I want it to be fall. I want it to feel fall. But I don't want there to be like, I don't know. I don't want perfect lines anywhere, if that makes any sense at all. So this is the bottom of the pumpkin that you're looking at now. If you're like, huh, she missed a spot. That's the bottom of the pumpkin. I'm not overly concerned about it. It probably will just get left. And I'm just gonna tear off pieces of this napkin and put them on for now. And that decoupage will dry clear. It looks a little milky right now, but it will totally dry clear. And then you won't even know that that's what's on there. If you're doing this with white glue, I would thin it out a little bit with a little bit of water. And if you're doing this with shellac, I would just go straight full strength shellac, or I can't remember what it's called. It's almost like a Varathane, but Varathane's a brand, so it's not Varathane. But it's a heavier product. It is more shellac-like. But if you Google search, sort of what you can use to do decoupage, Mod Podge will come up first, but there are other options as well. So I'm going to see if I've got enough napkin to get me all the way around. If not, I'm going to go get another one because I know I have more of this napkin. And at least get the bottom and up the sides done. And then we'll see where I go from there. I might like just slap this on in all, cover the whole napkin. Or sorry, cover the whole pumpkin. What am I talking about? Not covering the napkin. And then this would be safe to put outside. Again, it's a little bit light, so you have to keep in mind that it might blow away. But if you've got, a covered porch or a spot where it's not going to, the weather's not going to get to it, then I think it would be fine, safe to put outside. Certainly would be okay. Now, this is just regular Mod Podge. This isn't like dishwasher safe or anything. So like it probably won't withstand a rainstorm. So you have to keep that in mind. But it would also look fabulous inside your house. All right, I'm going to grab another napkin super quick because I know exactly where they are. These are also, this napkin is like cocktail size. So it's not going to cover as much as a full dinner napkin would cover. So I'm going to see if I can get it apart without fighting as much as I had to with the last one. No guarantees. It's always a bit of a challenge. I like to rip it because then I can sort of, especially if it doesn't rip straight, I get to see the different layers. And that's how I oftentimes will get it to come apart, which is exactly what I'm doing now. I think I got it. There we go. No right or wrong here. These ones are sealed up really, really well. Other brands are not sealed. Like I have no idea. I'm fairly certain that these ones came from the dollar store. Those other plaid ones that I used earlier, I think those came from the independent grocer. So like No Frills. I think I would have gotten them at the independent if my memory serves me correctly. So keep your eye out for napkins everywhere you go. They are not just for dinner parties. Use them for crafting. I seriously have an entire box of napkins that I will pull out for snack as well, but I will use them. I use them mostly for crafting. And I've had crafters give me napkins before too, so which is lovely. I love it. If you find a pattern that you really, really like, and you're like, oh, I think I know somebody who would like this pattern as well, then gift them some napkins because you never know, they could craft up a storm with them. All right. We are just about all the way around. I'm going to turn it up on its right end and see what it looks like. I might be leaving it just like this. We'll see. Get a little bit more on here. Got myself all the way around. And I am layering it over top of itself because I don't want it to look, I don't want any straight edges. I want all torn, jagged, junk journal, scrapbooking. Those are the words that are stuck in my head at this point. I like it. So it's just some napkin uneven. I don't love this stretch right here. I'm going to put some more on there because I want it. I don't love that it's so low, and I also don't love that it's feeling very straight to me. So it's dealing with something that's round and wet is interesting. So I'm going to go right over top with some more Mod Podge and some more napkin, and literally just going to pull some pieces off that are jagged and get them on there. And then I'll put some more Mod Podge on. I might end up covering the majority of this pumpkin. I do like the way this napkin is looking on here. And having that cream paint underneath is making for like a nice base, so that like in spots like here where there isn't, it's not fully covered by napkin or decoupage, then you have that lovely color that also it blends well with the project. It's the right color. It's not stark. It's not orange. Oh, I do like this. I'm getting decoupage all over. It is starting to tear a little bit where it's not dry. So I think I'm going to stop there and give this the opportunity to dry. I may end up putting a little bit more on it, but I don't want to tear any more of what's on the bottom. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now until it's dry. So pull this other little pumpkin in. So I think you could like create some projects here with, you know, several different pumpkins of different sizes. Make it be really eclectic like this is, or, you know, follow some sort of theme. That's also a possibility, depending on, you know, the look that you're going for. But I do think this is a fun, 2 fun projects for our October Crafter's Choice. And like I said, the painted pumpkins will also be an option at the end of the month for Ladies' Night, which is actually the night before Halloween. So it'll be the 30th of October, an opportunity to come out in costume or not with your friends, or come out and meet some new people and just sit around the craft table and create something if you so choose, or just sit and socialize. But those are our projects for today. Let's see if I can get this not up high enough. There's my napkin. You see it over there? My big old bin of napkins. There's tons of them. The camera is totally crooked. Not that anyone cares, but it is. It is what it is. So there we go. Perfect. Awesome. So for a Monday afternoon, I appreciate you if you popped in and if you jumped into the comments. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me, or an hour with me. We've been just over an hour. And creating and crafting with me is always super fun on Make Something Monday. If you are watching the replay, make sure that you say hi in the comments. Let me know what questions you have. And hopefully let me know what you think about our Crafter's Choice option. Everything is evolving, and sometimes I'm just pulling stuff out of the air thinking, oh, this might work. But if you have a better idea or a suggestion, please throw it at me. You never know that we might not be able to make that work. But certainly drop-in DIY is no longer. It is not an option unless it is Tuesday to Friday during the day and we don't have something else booked. But our other what used to be drop-in DIY is now being called Crafter's Choice, and you do require registration ahead of time so that we know you're coming, and so we can have supplies ready for you. So lots of craft options, but there will always be 2 specific projects that are just available for Crafter's Choice, and they will be as budget friendly as we can possibly make them. So hopefully that all makes sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. Have a fabulous Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you again next week making something else. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.